wipe my ass, so I do get yeast infections more often than most people. I stopped wiping my ass back in 2020 when COVID happened and everywhere was out of toilet paper. And so I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna not wipe, I guess. And I realized that it really didn't make much of a difference. I've always struggled with body odor, and no matter what I do, I always just smell. I guess my pheromones are really strong. So the smell doesn't bother me. As far as getting yeast infections, I really don't mind those either because I've learned that I can experiment with them. I've made cinnamon rolls, I've made bread, and over the course of 4 years, I probably saved $2 not buying yeast from the grocery store. Plus, I've saved money by not buying toilet paper because I'm allergic to a lot of things, and the only brand of toilet paper I could use without giving me a rash was Charmin, and Charmin is insanely expensive. So when I cut out that expense, I realized I might actually be able to save up for a down payment on a house now. And I don't even have to give up my avocado toast or iced lattes.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a waxer. We need to have a chat. Sorry, I'm in between clients right now. I have 20 minutes to eat my lunch, so I'm doing it at the same time. But to preface this video and say I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just being super honest. Being a woman, a waxer, you realize that not everyone grew up with the same knowledge of hygiene, feminine hygiene as you. And like I said, this is more meant so to be educational, but I need to set the scene so you guys understand what it's like when some people lay down on our table. Now you have to understand, as a waxer, there's a lot of things that I don't care about. You're like, oh, my hair is so long. I don't care. That's the point. Like, sorry, I'm sweating like in the middle of the wax. Girl, I don't care. I don't care about your hyperpigmentation. I don't care about your ingrown hairs, your weight. I don't care about your size. I don't care what you wore to come. Like, I don't care. But there is a certain level of personal hygiene that I think people don't realize you have to take extra care of the bits and goodies that are downstairs when you're a woman. And these are things that if you do not learn as a child growing up, you really don't know. Men don't really care when they're having sex with you. So then when you have another woman down there, a service provider, it's like, wait, just so you know, this is going on downstairs. Being honest, if you didn't know this, now you know, you need to wipe front to back. As a waxer, when you wipe back to front, I can tell. Your feces is smearing into your discharge, and it's all the way up the front of you. And obviously this has a smell, but this is like severely unhygienic, and it's introducing a lot of bacteria into the area, and you are very prone to UTIs when this happens. And honestly speaking, some women don't know this, like genuinely don't know, because honestly wiping back to front is easier, but it's not right. You need to be exfoliating your whole body. You need to use a washcloth or a loofah of some sort. I use a silicone loofah because it is not harboring with bacteria as like a netted loofah. You need to use something to wash your body. You need to wash your whole body. You need to spread your cheeks and get the water in between your cheeks when you're in the shower. You need to wash your legs. You need to wash your feet. You cannot just use your hands. It may not seem like a hygiene thing, but this is a respect and a manners thing. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients come in, hey, sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was at a workout class. Hey, sorry I'm a few minutes late. I just came from the gym. Why would you do that? And listen, I'm one for charging a late fee and a no-show fee. I will charge you. But if you're like, hey, I was just at the gym and I am sweaty down there and I just worked out for 2 hours, or I just came from a hot mat class, a hot yoga class. I need to shower before my wax appointment. I promise you, I might even give you a discount. Like, if you are sexually active with your partner before your appointment, chances are high that we know. Number one, it has a smell. But if he nuts inside of you, it's coming out on our table. When we pull the strip, you lose control of that area in your pelvic floor for like a few seconds here and there. It comes out. And listen, that's y'all's business. Do what you need to do. I'm grown. I'm pregnant. I get it. It gets to a point where like you need to have that under control before everything is out on the table. Because everything will be out on the table. Believe that. Unfortunately for me, it will be. So even just like that's a manners thing. That's something we need to be mindful of for going to our appointments. Like, this is why people have sit-down air, if you don't know. This is why people have sit-down air, because they are not clean down there. And this is the area of you that you never see and that you can't really get to. That's why people come and get waxed, because nobody's trying to shave in between the crevices, but they do need to be clean. And number one, the reasons that I'm saying this is because, like, so I've had situations where, like, clients genuinely, I have a hard time waxing them because of odors and things like that. Mind you, I am pregnant, so I'm sensitive, but, like, even before then, if you come and you have feces smeared all the way up to your vulva, the entire room smells like poop. I got clients after you, and then now I'm running late because I'm trying to air out the room. Like, mind you, I'm face first in your crotch, trying to do service for you. I need you guys to understand, although I'm being, like, firm in this video, trying to be educational, I'm not trying to shame y'all. People literally don't know, and that's okay. And like I said, there's a lot of things I don't care about when I wax you. Like, even people be farting on the table, stuff like that. People be farting on the table when I give facials and they're asleep. Like, you really can't help, especially when you're, you know, spread eagle, butt naked on a bed. Like, it happens when I'm pulling a strip. That's totally fine. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Things like that, though, it's fine. But the things that you can control, you need to control. And not just because you're getting a wax. You need to control these things because this is your body and your health. Especially if you are someone that is sexually active and has a sexual partner, man, woman, whoever. And, you know, check yourselves. I would say it's a small percentage of women watching this video that have ever taken a mirror or their phone and gone like this. Listen, it's not always a pretty sight. It's not. And really looked at yourself. You should not have toilet paper crumbs that have been in your lips for a few days. And the first time they're getting out is when I'm waxing them out. There was a time that I thought a client had a tampon in, which is totally fine. I wax clients on their period all the time. I just tell them I do prefer that you wear a tampon. I don't want you to free bleed onto the table. Just thought she had a tampon in. I go to move the string because I'm trying to get this side. It's toilet paper that has been wadded up so far into her lips that it looked like a tampon string. But, like, there's just so many things that if I were to tell y'all, you would be like, why do people do that? And you would be surprised that it happens as often as it does. Just telling you, be mindful when you're going into these services. But beyond the fact that it's for the services, this is your health. Things build up. Things accumulate. Bacteria harbors. Bacteria loves moisture. Bacteria loves heat. Bacteria loves confined spaces. Like, everything that has to do with a woman's female anatomy, bacteria loves that. Even on your best day, your body is still fighting those things out. So give yourself a fighting chance. Take care of yourself. Clean yourself. Take the time. It's part of loving yourself, and it is self-care. I don't want to see anyone spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on their face and you haven't washed your genitals in a few weeks. Just haven't been cleaned out since the last time I waxed you. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I gotta go. And please, I was not trying to sound rude, but it gets to a point.
Black skin is not pure. If your skin is darker than mine.
White supremacy is a funny thing, but a lot of them believe this. There was a tweet I saw a little while ago, I think last week, where a white man was like, I don't like that some black people smell too much like soap. It's a generational thing, because back then the Europeans weren't bathing like that. The story of the woman on here, I think she was Mexican, she said that when the Europeans came to the Mayas or the Aztecs, one of those civilizations, they would follow them around with incense, and the Europeans were like, oh my God, they love us, they think we're gods. But it was really because they smelled so badly, couldn't stand their stench, so they had to like parade around with oils and roses and flowers around them to quell the stench of them, because they were on those ships for months and they were surrounded by water and they didn't even touch it. I think in the morning they would like use one of these to like wash their hands and their faces. But for the most part, they didn't bathe in the way that we know bathing as, like submerging yourself in water. Louis XIV, the 17th century king of France, is said to have only taken 3 baths in his entire life. And they thought that submerging their whole body in water was unhealthy, and that taking all of your clothes off was immodest. Those were the Puritans. They were whack jobs. The idea of being clean wasn't closely associated with water in the 17th century. They had bathhouses, but they would only go there as like a medicinal cure, or only go there to like cool off when it was really, really hot. And those handful of baths that Louis XIV took, those were on the advice of a doctor to treat his convulsions. He was having seizures. Cleanliness, to the extent that people thought about it in the 17th century, had more to do with what we now call underwear than anything. They kept themselves clean by changing the white linens under their clothes. The cleaner and whiter the linens, the cleaner that the person or the thinking went. Meaning, if my clothes look clean, then I'm clean. I'm gonna order his book because it talks extensively about it, just to like, just learn something. Because they did understand the concept of being dirty, because if they wore white collars and there was a nasty ring around the collar, they would know that they were unclean. So changing that was their sign of cleanliness. And also cleaning their bed sheets. Going to bed without taking off one's outer clothes was considered unhygienic and immoral. A colonist in Maine accuses maid of being sluttish for going to bed with her clothes and stockings, thus dirtying her bed linens. The Native Americans that colonists encountered had different priorities in terms of hygiene, like the Winnapogue. Most Native Americans bathed openly in rivers and streams, and they also thought it was gross for Europeans to carry their own mucus around in handkerchiefs. They're kind of right about that. It's kind of gross. And the natives' teeth were in better shape because they had methods to clean themselves, including brushing their teeth with wooden chew sticks, chewing on fresh herbs like mint to freshen their breath, and rubbing charcoal on their teeth to whiten them. In contrast, most Europeans who came over may not have brushed their teeth at all and had a diet that was generally worse for their oral health. And of course, this is the danger to native people, because all the microbes and germs that they had on their body and on their clothes, they passed those microbes to Native Americans who had no prior exposure to them and therefore had no immunity. Historians estimate that Europeans' diseases wiped out more than 90% of native people in the coastal New England before 1620, the year the Pilgrims arrived. Over the next few decades, European diseases would wipe out millions more. Of course, it was kind of laborious also, because when you or your maid had to go and fill one of these up, and that took multiple trips, and you probably didn't want to do that. This is getting long, so I'll just end here. This is getting long, so I'll end it here. When her husband built her an outdoor shower, Elizabeth Drinker, an 18th century Philadelphia Quaker woman, reportedly wrote in her diary, "I bore it better than I expected, not having been wet all over at once for 28 years past."
I remember being told that I don't need to scrub my legs because the soap runs down my body. I remember being told that I didn't need to shower today because we had swam at the lake. I remember being told that shampoo is fine because it runs down, it washes everything. I don't remember being told how to clean my vajussi. I remember being not the only white girl in the army learning how to wash properly from the black girls. And they laughed a little bit too, but they stood with us and taught us with love. My mother-in-law has taught me more about myself than my actual mother did. I'm not gonna laugh at you because you don't understand the context of these messages. It is listen to black women and protect black women till I die.
Oh boy. So, John Michael Kohler was an American who invented the bathtub in 1883. But let's think about this critically. Do you really think that nobody took a bath until John Michael Kohler invented the bathtub in 1883? Doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So what he was talking about is the fact that Africans introduced bathing and the concept of personal hygiene to Western Europe in order to build a healthier society during the 800-year occupation of Spain. In particular, a man by this name introduced the practices of bathing, shaving, and using toothpaste, as well as drastically improving the eating habits of Western Europeans. Additionally, the first recorded history of people taking baths was in India in 500 BC. A lot of us have gotten used to how little history some people like you know, particularly where it comes to anything not Eurocentric. However, I have a tip. Before you make a comment like this, do a quick Google search for whatever you think the topic at hand is. In this case, who invented bathing or who introduced bathing to Europe, and then decide whether you still want to make this comment.
Do you use soap in the shower?
I do not. No, I don't use soap in the shower. I haven't bought soap ever. The craziest thing. I think you guys have been had by an unnecessary organization called Big Soap that is out there to sell a product that really, maybe it makes you smell fake for a little bit. Like, oh, wow, you smell like roses and lavender for, I don't know, what, 3 minutes until you dry off with your towel and then it's gone. But that's not what gets you clean. Big Soap, they've got you right where they want you, though. They have tricked you into believing that you need soap to be clean, and you do not.
I don't want to go here, but what about hand soap? We believe in that?
Nah, don't use it.
Really?
Don't use it.
Audible gasps from the crowd.
I don't use hand soap.
Even
Did you try it even yet?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Well, you're just anti
I'm not
leg
black.
washes.
I'm not going to wash my legs and feet.
You think that's just a black people thing?
Clearly.
Well, and he's
The only one here who took the day off washes his legs and feet. No, I don't think it's a black thing. I think using washcloth is for poor people, but I don't think that washing your legs and feet is for black people.
I agree. I think the washcloth is a poor person thing. Because
I've only met poors who use them.
An elevator. Call me back. You can't avoid me forever. Please.
One word. One word. Nasty. Nasty. See, I'm black, and you might look at me and think I'm poor because I've washed my body for 44 3/4 of a year with a washcloth. I wash my legs. I wash between my toes. I wash behind my ears. I clean in my ears. I wash my navel. I wash my neck with the washcloth. So you might look at me and think I'm poor, but I smell like $1 million. Let's put it that. I smell good. So I guess to have money is to be funky, according to your ideology. Y'all have a good day.
Do you use a washcloth?
No,
me either.
I think
disgusting.
Am I scrubbing my body with a washcloth?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know. I think we're.
That is like a UTI waiting to happen.
I think we're in the minority. I really do. No, I think we are.
People use washcloths?
I think so.
Like for their body?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, what are you washing your butt with?
My hand.
I know I don't wipe my ass and it stinks when I walk past you in public, but there is no reason for you guys to be making this face when I walk by. I see you doing that.